wanted to use
Really sure.
This is Nat Nazareth with the Christian Post. I'm here with Penny Nance, president of Concerned Women for America. And Penny, we just finished listening to Marco Rubio speak about poverty and the important role of marriage, family, and education. What's your reactions to the speech?
You know, I was very encouraged and very much liked his tone. He took a unifying stance that talked about the importance of marriage in America and really the ill effects on society when strong families aren't formed and how it affects children. And I really like the way that he was able to give concrete policy ideas. He didn't just talk in big abstracts, and I think Dr. Moore may have talked about this a little bit too, but he gave real policy proposals. I thought the speech just really showcased a breadth of knowledge and a deep understanding of what's at stake in our nation. So he did a great job. I was very encouraged, and there were moments where I was nodding along, but there was a couple of moments where I really kind of caught my breath because he gave voice to some really tough issues in a way that I've been thinking about them. He put voice to some things that have been in my heart, and so I was very encouraged by everything he said today.
Yeah, and the topic was poverty. He did take a moment to talk about defending the life of the unborn. Yeah, and so that's a difficult situation, especially for women in poverty, because it can be such a difficult situation if you're pregnant. So what would be your advice to Christians who are pro-life, who are advocating this position, and how they speak to the situation, especially with regard to women who just find themselves in a very difficult situation and having to make a tough decision?
Well, the first thing is transparency. I mean, I think as believers, we've got to acknowledge that we're broken and we live in a broken world and life isn't perfect. And this issue is complicated and hard. And often these decisions are made from a place of fear. And so if we're truly pro-life, and I work in the issue of public policy, and I'm going to continue to fight for the life of the unborn in the courts and also in Congress. But if we're truly pro-life, we're also on the front lines, being salt and light, being the healing hands of Jesus in these situations, and offering hope to young women who are so afraid. I volunteered with a group called Birth Mothers, where I was paired with a mother and helped her navigate our culture and also life skills, and then was even asked to be with her in the room where she gave birth, and then afterwards helping her to pull her life together. That was just one little experience for me. Concerned Women for America members all over this country have their own stories. If you're truly pro-life, you're out on the front lines advocating your beliefs, both in public policy but also on a one-on-one basis, loving and healing and being the hands and feet of Jesus.
Right. Historically speaking, politicians often, they talk a lot about the middle class, and that tends to be their focus. Here we hear Marco Rubio talking about the poor, and in particular tying it to marriage and family, which is a theme that I haven't just heard from Marco Rubio, but other Republicans as well. Is there a trend? What do you see going on within the Republican Party with regard to how they speak to poverty?
I think it's really important that when we talk about poverty that we acknowledge that it doesn't have to be a permanent position, that many of us were born into families that didn't have any privilege, didn't have any, lots of education, lots of money, but we are born in this country, we're born in the United States of America, where there is equal opportunity under the law, and where if we make some good decisions, and the senator talked about life sequencing, making just some basic decisions can change your life for the better, and that is getting an education, high school or better. Certainly vocational school is a great opportunity. Staying away from drugs and alcohol, staying sober and being able to participate fully in your own life. Getting married before you get pregnant. And staying married, trying as hard as you can to stay married. And then finally, working hard. And those small steps, that life sequencing they talked about, can move a person in one generation from abject poverty to at least the middle class, and often beyond that. And I've experienced that within my own family. In 2 generations, the women in my family went from abject poverty to relative influence and affluence, and I'm just so grateful for this exceptional nation. Again, the tone was unifying and optimistic. And we have got to stop with a commander-in-chief that wants to divide and erode. We have to step forward and together not just look at our own lives, but look next door to our neighbor and outside our own communities of who we can help, who we can bring along behind us, who we can give the good messages to of life sequencing.
All right, Penny Nance, thanks for speaking to us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, and thanks for watching the Christian Post.